Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. I am coming on here to talk about something so close to my heart. I have recently been hearing from so many women about just losing hope about relationships, about marriage. I get inboxed and emailed so much from women who are 20 something to 30 something to 40 something that just, giving up on dating, giving up on men, giving up on relationships. So I'm coming on this morning. First of all, I just got done working out, y'all. So y'all know I ain't all did up, okay? I'm just letting y'all know right now. I'm not all diddied up. I just got done working out, got back home from the gym, drinking my green smoothie, and I probably should have made some notes going into this video so I can just not forget to tell you a bunch of details. But I often don't really come on and talk about myself a lot, and I realize that I've got to do a better job of leading from a place of showing you and explaining to you exactly what I've done so that I can be an example by actions, not just words, right? Like I've got to be able to help you understand who I am and how I've gotten the results in my own life to have a wonderful life that I love. So I want to start there. For those of you who are brand new to my channel, I've got a lot of new followers, guys. I'm just going to say that I am someone who leads from a place of results. I lead from a place of what I have done to actually get results in my own life. And thank you. Someone says, I'm one of the ones who have lost hope. And there was a gentleman over on my YouTube channel this morning, and sorry, sweetheart, I forget your name over on YouTube, but he made a comment, and it was like facts. It was just straight facts. He talked about how where there's a middle ground that we have got to establish as facts, and we're really all talking about the same things, but we're all arguing. Black men and women are arguing. And we've got to be able to reach middle ground. We've got to be able to meet each other in the middle. And what he described, I feel like hit the nail on the head. He said, we as Black women now feel very predominantly that we are too good for most Black men. And then on the one hand, you've got Black women who often very much are reaching up, wanting to ask for something that we're not, right? They want a man, they've got all these laundry list of things they want, but they're not those things themselves. And so they're looking down on men who may even be on their same level because they don't want to build together. And you've also got women who are running circles around the average man and are doing very, very well. And guess what? The man you want, who you even feel you deserve because you've worked so hard, and like I mentioned, research shows women want to marry on their educational and financial level or higher. You have your degrees, you have your money, so you want the same thing you're bringing to the table. But guess what? There's not enough of those men, or they just don't exist. So you'll find yourself in a repetitive pattern trying to date men who try to match up with that, and it's still not love. It's still not love. You can go out here with your resume, and you can go out here and think that you're trying to date according to your level. For the women who are on higher levels, like Kendra and I's conversation, a woman who is making high six figures. Kendra just bought herself a Bentley for her birthday. Who is Kendra gonna date? Who's Kendra gonna date? That was Kendra and I's conversation. She was asking me. We were having a conversation before we even came on camera. What do you think? This is my situation. This is where I'm at. What do you think? I don't think there's enough men who meet you where you're at based on who you are. So guess what? I don't care about any men making comments on this video because it's not for you. I'm here for the women today. I want to have a real conversation. Excuse me, guys. Look, got my little workout clothes on. I want to have a really real conversation about how I got married at 35 plus. And this applies to young women in their 20s. I got married very young. I got married at 21. Okay. So I'm someone who's been married the majority of my adult life. Okay. That's number one. I come from a family that believes in marriage as a standard. My parents, before they passed, were married for 40 plus years. My aunts and uncles across my mother's side of the family were married 50, 60 years. I come from a heritage, a culture, a family that believes in marriage. I had very vivid, real examples of building wealth because like 4 of my mom's brothers, 4 of my uncles were self-made millionaires. And they were married for 50 and 60 years, building that legacy of wealth, leaving hundreds of rental properties in trust for their children and grandchildren. I had very real examples of how God uses family, men and women in partnership to build legacy. Legacy. For all you ladies talking about, I don't need a man, I don't want a man, I don't need a man. That's not how God built us. That's not how God created any of this. You know, over the weekend, and after KS passing away, and I'm seeing so many of his followers, and they're hurting and they're upset, and my prayers go out to his mother, my prayers go out to his followers, because people loved him. As much as you may disagree and not like so much of his rhetoric or his ways, there were people who loved him. And what I saw was just more pain, more hurting. And my heart goes out to his family, to be a man over 50 years old who did not know what it meant to have a successful partnership. He passed off this earth over 50 years old in a bed with a strange woman, a woman he didn't even really know, who did not know his heart and love him for who he is. Can I tell you what a wife does? Can I tell you the heart of a wife? The heart of a wife loves a man to his core. I am not happy. Not celebrating death. That's a soul who, no matter what, he was telling people and teaching, and he was still a man who did not have a wife. He didn't have a life partner at almost 60 years old. Fellas, is that what you want? Do you want to be almost 60 and you're in an apartment and you're not even building a life with someone? You're not even building legacy on half the stuff that you even talk about and teach? I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Y'all know I'm an empath. You know I'm a healer. You know I love hard. I love people. I don't wish that on anybody. Nobody. I want everyone to thrive. I want everyone to win. I want everyone to know what it is to be so deeply loved and to be so deeply assured that it doesn't matter what the world says. How I have been attacked at times. There have been people that come for me attacked because guess what? Showing love and kindness and representing the heart of God is not easy. It's not easy. In a world that is so full of hate, in a world that is so divided, guess what? It's not easy to represent the heart of God, to represent love and kindness. I have said so many of the exact same things that he would say, but it's the spirit behind what you say to bring correction and to not kill and slaughter people's spirit, their souls. Because the ultimate goal for those of us who love God, for those of us who want everyone to thrive, the ultimate goal is to uplift even in correction. Even in correction. So how did I get married at 35 plus? Number one, ladies, number one, I love God. I am a spiritual woman. I am a spiritual woman. What does that mean? It means that my heart is full of love. God is love. God is love. My heart is full of love. Guess what? Can I tell you, ladies, what a winning combination is to win over the heart of a man? Can I tell you, if he likes you, the winning combination to be married, stay married, or even successfully date, to have great dating experiences, is to be your best, mind, body, and spirit, and to have a balance around your feminine and masculine energy. Your feminine and masculine energy. See, this is the stuff that needs to be taught. I learned from strong women in my life and in my family and my mother. My mother typically always made more money than my dad. But my mother never, ever walked all over my father or talked down to him. She honored him. She loved him. She supported him. When it comes to men, ladies, you're going to have to compartmentalize some shit. You can't be a boss in your business or a boss on your job, but then boss a man. I have this very intrinsic nature that with men, I am soft and feminine. Around men, if I'm dating a man, when I was dating Carrie before we ever got married, honey, there is this softness just from being around a man. That's right, the real J's out. Humility, femininity, softness, kindness, loving kindness, the softer side of your heart. This is something that's missing now today. Why? Because guess what, ladies? You've been so beat up. You've been so beat up. Guess what? If you're wearing the pants in your job and you're wearing the pants at home, and if you're a single mother, guess what? You taking out the trash, you bringing home the bacon, you cooking it up too. There in every area of your life, you got to lead. In every area of life, the modern woman has to lead. So guess what? You didn't have any examples of what it is to be the divine feminine and in energy. To be able to be soft. Honey, Carrie Pope come around. You would think I don't know how to take out no trash. I don't know how to open no doors. I don't know how to put no gas in the car. I don't know how. Look, anything that would come to the masculine traditional gender roles. A man come around me, I'm sitting there like, oh, would you mind doing that for me? Right? I'm not wearing this callousness, hardness, because I'm smart. Ladies, Why would you want to be single, having to do everything, but then when you get with a man, you still acting like you don't need him for anything, and then you're going to still be carrying the load and doing everything anyway? Because you're too busy acting like you got it all figured out. You got it all covered. But then you're resentful when he's not doing anything. You're resentful when he doesn't rush to help you. You're resentful when he's not treating you like a lady. If you want to be treated like a lady, act like a lady. If you meet a man and you really like him, some of you are going to have to be responsible for trying to train him to treat you like a lady. If he hasn't been raised with it, just like you haven't been raised with it, guess what? You're going to have to sit there in the car just so pretty in your little summer dress going on a date. You're just going to have to sit right there in the passenger seat in your pretty dress and your heels, and you're just going to wait for him to come around and open that door. Because if you want him to open your door, you're going to have to let him know that's what I like. You're going to have to act like sometimes your fingers broke, your hands don't work. Because some of them all haven't had role models either. Now, here's the thing. I came from a background of soft, feminine women. Didn't mean they didn't have jobs, didn't mean that they didn't know how to make money, didn't know that they didn't know how to get it done. They know how to get it done. But they compartmentalize with their man, with their husband. Okay, here's two. The deadly combination when it comes to men. Being feminine, taking care of yourself physically. Here's my killer combination. When I was single, I always look good, smell good, sexy, and I'm kind, and I'm fun. Men that I wasn't even their type would want to be with me. Why? Because that is a killer combination to men. They love that energy. Beautiful, feminine, sweet. You could say, Rebecca, well, I don't look like you. Rebecca, I mean, everyone doesn't look like you. No, everyone doesn't look like me. And everybody's not supposed to look like each other. Not supposed to. You have to look like you. But guess what you are responsible for? Being the best you that you can be. The best you. The best you that you can be. You're responsible for your body, your looks. You're responsible, okay, for taking care of you. Be your best. Yes, authentically, Nick, your best. Whatever that is for you, you are responsible for being your best. So that when your husband finds you, he's finding you. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is going to be hard. I'm just letting y'all know right now. It's going to be hard. The real Jay-Zah says, in watching the tongue. So here's the other thing. Back to love and kindness. Even anything you say, you can say with love and kindness. You don't have to be a hard rock when you're really a gem. Isn't that what Lauren said? Don't be a hard rock when you're really a gem. So here's the other thing. Here's what's key, and I'm just going to keep it all the way 100. I didn't meet my husband when I was at the top. I didn't meet my husband when I was at the top. I had already been making tons of money, doing very well, had a business, and then I went through a series of events and losing my mother and losing a lot. And I found myself at a very low place when I met my husband. My credit was wrecked. I was post-divorce. I was financially in recovery. I was emotionally in recovery. But I have begun to work on myself, get therapy, counseling, reading books, working on my recovery spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. But I still look good. I'm going to just keep it 100. I was in recovery mode from a divorce and the loss of my mother. I still look good, but I was rebuilding. And then I met a man in my rebuilding phase, and here's something where I want to be clear. I believe it was orchestrated in such a way because when I wasn't at my best financially is when I was humble, right? Humble. I had gone through some things. I wasn't at the top of my game. I was humble. I met a man who was in recovery too. We were about the same level. Because guess what? When I was at the top of my game, making high six figures with great credit and doing really well, guess what? None of those men fit me. Them six-figure CEO business type dudes that I thought were a match for me, they were jerks, they were assholes, or they were drug dealers or criminals and you didn't really know it, how they were making their money. Fraudulent. And then it was such a small percentage of them that they were all assholes. Why? Because they can get so many women and everybody wants them. They're jerks. And then they weren't good looking, but they had money, they were still jerks because they thought because of their money they should have a beautiful woman. So then they treat you like a dime a dozen, even though they could look like a toad. And I'm out here like, money does some things to men. Good looking men with money? Whew. Nightmares. The good ones were already married. The rich, good looking ones were already married. Off the market a long time ago because they're a marrying type of man. So what's left in that 35 plus? Nobody talks about leftover men. There's a lot of leftover men. A whole 50 and 60 years old. Now you trying to settle down. So I met my husband. I met Carrie. I was 38. And I met my husband. And he was beautiful and wonderful. And he was handsome. And he was sweet. And he was kind. And he was loving. And he was spiritual. And he was, did I mention good looking? Did I mention good looking? Did I mention that he loved God? Did I mention that he loved family? Did I mention that, and it was in this place of humility. Here's another one. Facebook, somebody said, how did you meet? Stop ignoring your inbox messages. Stop ignoring the humble man who's solid. Ladies, and this, I'm going to speak to my sisters. Facebook. We met through Facebook, y'all. We had a common friend. She posted a picture of she and I out at lunch one day. She said, let's take a selfie. She posted a picture. He saw me on her page and said, who's that in that picture? Inboxed her and said, who's that in that picture? She says, my friend Rebecca, you want to meet her? He's like, no. Long story short, we end up talking the same day. She says, oh, he's going to inbox you. Okay. First conversation on a Tuesday, went on that first date on a Friday. We were married within 16 months. And now this is what I want to say, and I need women to listen to me. If you want to be married and you want to be happily married, Excuse me, my little green smoothie getting caught in my throat. You want to be happily married, okay? You cannot afford to keep ignoring good men based on finances. You can't continue to ignore good men based on height. You can't afford to ignore good men. That's right, I said happily married, because you can be miserably married. I'm saying if you want to be happily married, you can't afford to keep ignoring good men who don't check all of these boxes you've created, even if you bring all that to the table. You can't afford to keep ignoring the good men that are there who would happily treat you like a queen, a whole queen. And you can build together to create partnership and legacy. When I met Carrie, he loved me at my worst. There are men who, based on all this modern BS that's going on out here right now, based on all this advice, so many men would have just disqualified me. Oh, her credit. Oh, she had already been married. Oh, she already got kids. Oh, she got, her dad is sick after her mom died. You know, she's taking care of an elderly father. Disqualified. And you ignoring the good men who will be with you and be faithful and loyal and love you. My mother prayed a prayer before she passed away. And she told me, she says, baby, I pray that you get married again. You marry a man who loves you, like drink your dirty bathwater love you. That was a prayer my mother prayed over me. She wanted a man to love me from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. She prayed Carrie Pope into my life. You can build together. Whatever is not there when you are first building, getting together, you can build together. Carrie and I have made millions. We make millions together. I made a lot of money in business before I met Carrie. Was at rock bottom or near it when I met him. Together we went shoo, shoo. I've made more money with him. I'm better with him than I was single. I would not be making the millions we make now without Carrie Pope. Because together we are better. Together we are stronger. Flaws and all, perfectly imperfect for each other. Listen, thank you. All things cadence. People will bring something to the table and be upset their partner doesn't have that same attribute, as if it's not a collective partnership. Sometimes we have things our partner doesn't and it works. Listen, when I was dating Carrie Pope, this is how I ended up married. When I'm dating Carrie Pope, I was at a maturity, at a place of understanding that I knew what I needed. I knew what was missing in me. I know my strengths. I'm a leader. I know my strengths. I also know my weaknesses. You got to get to know yourself and be willing then to understand that what God has for you is going to fit in to all the spaces. God knows where you're not strong, so your partner is strong in the areas where you're weak. Marriage is of God. That's number one. This weekend, as I sat back watching everything, sometimes, y'all, I just got to log out of social media. Let me tell you why. Because it crossed my spirit, it crossed my mind. Where is God? Where is God in all of this? Where is God in all of this social media content? Where is God in all of these gurus? Where is God in all of this content that people are consuming? Where is God in our current modern life? Marriage is of God. Love is of God. Connection is of God. I knew I'm not really great with money. I need a man who's really good with money. I know how to make it, but I need a man to manage it. I need a man who's really good. Carrie is the CFO, COO of the Pope organization. We on our first few days, you good with money? Oh yeah, I'm really good with money. Carrie's a saver. He's a budgeter. He's an investor. Carrie is so good with money. Listen, I'll be like, okay, here, this is what we gonna do. Here's some more money. Let's go. What we gonna do? Carrie's saving, stacking. Carrie is on top of the financials. Carrie is over there. Our businesses, lines of credit, money, bank accounts, business credit. Just Carrie Pope, Carrie Pope, Carrie Pope. On top of payroll, staff, human resources. Carrie Pope. Carrie Pope, Carrie Pope. I'm a creator. I'm a visionary. I'm not a manager. See, you got to know you. You got to know you. Carrie's more organized than me. He's cleaner than me. He looked at me and didn't see, oh, she's not that clean. She doesn't keep everything completely organized. He didn't disqualify me because I was messier than him or not as organized. Guess what? In our relationship, I began to become more organized. I began to become more neat because he rubbed off on me. Do I lead in that area? No. Carrie got our passports in a folder. He's got boxes and folders, knows where everything's at all times. Am I ever going to be that person? No. Am I better? Yes. Carrie, not really into sales and marketing. Has he become better in those things? Yes. But together, we are better. Together, we are better. See, one of the problems we're facing in all of this modern mumbo jumbo and the chaos and the noise that is social media is that we have lost God. We've lost the understanding that you don't need somebody just like you. You need somebody who makes you better. Listen, sis, I don't care if you're making 6 figures right now and you drive a BMW and you bought a townhouse or a house and you just feel like you're killing it. Guess what? You ain't perfect. Guess what? You need soul work. Guess what? You need therapy. You need heart healing. You need some coaching. Guess what? Your mouth ain't right. Your heart's not right. Your attitude may not be right. You don't even know. You're always exhausted. Why are you always exhausted? You exhausted because you're carrying too much of a load. God didn't build you to carry all of this by yourself. God did not create either one of us, men or women, to carry everything, the burdens of life all by ourselves. What do women do for men? Emotional, spiritual, love. This is what women bring to men. We bring emotional and spiritual support and accountability. We bring balance and love and peace. We bring a safe space. Do you know what a wife is? Guess what a wife is to a man? I am the only safe space in Carrie's life, besides his therapist. I am his confidant. I am his secret sharer. I am his place of support and love. I am his place to judgment free where he can just be human. Education Revelation says healing masterclass, life changing. You guys need to be in the work masterclass. Why? Because in order for you to show up to be that for a man, you have to first cultivate it with yourself. If you can't be a safe space to be loving and kind and nurturing and to protect his heart, God can't even really trust you. Can't trust you with a man's heart. You'll be too busy judging him, critiquing him. He opened up his heart to share something with you in his most lowest broken moments, and his honesty of saying, I don't feel good about this. This is where I'm hurting. He go to share that with you. You be ready to stomp all over him. Oh, you ain't a real man. You ain't strong. You ain't... What? See, this is the stuff wives don't talk about. Because they're protecting their husband, they're protecting their man, they're protecting all the stuff they know, all his vulnerabilities. What does a man do for a woman? Stability, anchor, love, security, provision, protection. That's not always about money. It's not always about money, although 2 is better than 1. You put 2 incomes together, it's always better than 1. But what does Carrie do for me? Why am I better now than I've ever been in my life? Why? Carrie is my soulmate. He is my place of refuge. He is like an extension of God in my life. When I am at my lowest, when I am going through, when I'm hurting, when I'm grieving, run to Carrie. I will lay on his chest and I will just cry and I will let everything go. And he holds me and he doesn't even have to say a whole lot. He just has me. And I know that no matter what else is going on in the world, that if it comes down to just the two of us, I know I'm loved. I know I'm accepted. I know I'm validated. When you are deeply loved, there is a confidence. That you can go out into the world to do what God created you to do. Why? Because you're anchored in love. You're anchored. You are assured of who you are and whose you are. This is what a husband brings. Safety. Spiritual safety, emotional safety, psychological safety. To where you don't have to be superwoman. Same thing with a man. You don't have to be Superman. In the safety of your own space in your home, together you're vulnerable, you're real. And you hold each other up and you pray for each other and you encourage each other and you support each other. To be better. So, how did I get married after 35? Being feminine, having a heart full of love and kindness, not requiring a man to try to be some IG goal-worthy specimen and stereotype because you're so worried about trying to impress other people rather than to be loved. It's about balance. It is about removing ego. Relationships are about removing ego. What is ego? Ego edges God out. I'm spiritual, which means I come into a spiritual alignment. I'm at peace on the inside. I make choices and decisions based on Holy Spirit and what Holy Spirit speaks into me. I knew Carrie was it for me on the first date. I knew that whatever I was feeling in my spirit was so different from anything I had experienced before. I knew that he was a wonderful man. I knew he wasn't perfect. I knew he was hurting. I knew he had stuff. But I could see beyond the flaws. I could see beyond the pain to the wonderful man that he is. I gave him a chance. I gave us a shot. Please teach us that femininity. I will. I'm going to do a course on it. But the next course I have coming up is about divine dating. I was working out this morning and I thought about this. I'm going to do a course, a class, guys. So look for this page. I'm going to put up a link so you guys can get on the wait list, because I'm going to get ready to release it. For those of you who know you need to come into spiritual alignment to learn how to date. Date for marriage. Date divinely. How to align with Holy Spirit and invite in love into your life. Invite in marriage into your life. I'm going to release the divine dating course for learning how to date in spiritual alignment and open yourself up and welcome in love. Listen, I talk about Carrie Pope, I'll start crying, y'all, right? I'm going to do a class on this, so look for this. I'm going to put up a lead page today, so you make sure you get on my waiting list so that you're on it when I release it. God is a God of love. Love. God is love. Tune out the noise of all the craziness that's out here in the world. God is a God of hope. God is a God of love. Does that mean sometimes we need correction? We need tough love? Yes, we do. We do. But does it mean that God has counted you out and that there's not love for you, baby? There's not a man that will love you the way Carrie Pope loves me? God is love. So you can't give up on love. It's like giving up on God. It's like giving up on God. Don't you dare count yourself out. Do you need to work on some things? Do you need work on certain areas? Yes. Yes. But you are not a leftover. I get inboxed and emailed by so many 25-year-olds. 25-year-olds. I feel like I just need to give up. I just feel like there's no hope for me. 25. Do you guys know that the suicide rates are through the roof? What can you do if you desire a relationship and possibly marriage, but you're afraid? Take my class. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So, I know my audience. My audience loves God. That's who my audience is. And I need you to tap in and tune in to what I'm saying. Carrie and I are about to get really serious about spreading our message of hope, love, and healing. Abundant Life Nation is getting ready to launch because we have made up our minds. We have got to be a force for shining God's light into the world. Shining God's light into the world. What if we're not attracted to him? I'm Jasmine Nicole. Take my course. We're going to talk about it. All right. I love you. Mwah. I love you, love you, love you. Blessings and abundance. Stay tuned for the wait list for the new divine dating course. Okay, I'm going to teach it. We're going to get real inside that course, guys, because I know I've got to lead by example and be able to show you and tell you exactly what you need to be doing. All right. And just remember, it comes in love. I'm going to bring correction, but it's going to come in love. And you just remember that I love you. And then you might get triggered and it might be hard, but we got to do what we got to do. Because I have to be able to be a mentor to help you get where you want to be. All right. I love you. Mwah. Blessings and abundance. Look, I'm about to take a nap. I'm out here crying. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.